Hello everyone and welcome to Bulletproof Your Sales Funnel. My name is Shamir Ladani and I am a professional engineer and a former vice president of NMAX Power Corporation. I'm also a constant contact solution provider and I serve individuals who have constant contact and would like to kick their marketing up a notch, or I help people integrate their systems into constant contact. Some of my clients have been the Canadian Institute of Traditional Chinese Medicine, where I help with them with Infusionsoft. I'm also very adept in working with Infusionsoft. I work with Core Energy Wellness, and I help them with their Infusionsoft work as well as their constant contact work. And I also have Soul Food Books, and I work with them on business consulting. And of course, Chiro Motion, a chiropractic center, where I'm helping them with their marketing strategy and content development. And we have a client out in Boulder, in Longmont, Colorado, and I'm helping this individual who does many events all over the world do some marketing strategy and events promotion. So that's a bit about me and letting you know who I am and why I'm qualified to teach this this particular webinar. So let's talk about the sales funnel. The sales funnel, there are 4 stages to the sales funnel. In this area, really, what leads means is that this is where you get the people to actually listen to you. So this is where you draw people in and get their interest. So this is the get part of customers. Prospects become the part where you engage them. So when they, let's say you're at a trade show booth or something and somebody comes to your table, that's a lead. They may not be interested, they may not be qualified to buy your product, they may not even know what your product's about, but that's a get part. The engage part is they're asking you questions and saying, hey, what about this? What about that? That's a prospecting stage, and that's where you begin to engage them. The third stage is where they actually sign up, and this is where you get to keep them. This is where you actually sign them up for something, whatever that is, client treatment, or you sell them something, a box of tea or something, and that's your keep. Then the last part of your funnel is the loyalty part. This is where they come back again because they enjoyed the product or the service or both really well with you and they connected with you. So we're going to go through each one of these 4 stages and look at the different strategies you want to apply, because every business you have, every business that I've come across with, and every business out there has these basic 4 stages. And somebody may talk about this and they have different 7 stages, but they're just derivatives of this 4 stages. So let's get right into it. The first stage is where we say we will get the client. So that these are leads. So this is where they'll search on the website and they will look you up and they find you on the website. Perhaps they received a referral from somebody that says, hey, check Mike out, he's awesome, or check Sally out, she's amazing massage therapist. You have trade shows, you should set up a booth and people just come knocking on your door there and you have a chat with them. That's another way. And of course you have networking events, and these are very important events where you can go and meet with people of like-minded nature, and those are also leads. You may come up away with 2 or 3 business cards that you can follow up on. And of course there's social media and etc. So these are all the areas. Now leads, what distinguishes leads from prospects is that leads generally do not know who you are. They may have heard about you, but really they're not sure whether they want to either buy your product or receive a service or both. Okay, so essentially this is the time when they come in there, you set up a magnet and draw them in. Now when we talk about leads, if somebody does give you a business card or somebody indicates they want to follow up with you, and usually that is when they give you their number or a business card or something, they drop it in a box or they talk to you and you exchange business cards. If you follow up within 1 hour, there's a 7-time increase in lead qualification. And what that means is that if this person wasn't thinking of buying a vacuum cleaner, for example, let's say you set up a vacuum cleaner booth, but because you engaged her and because you talked to her, you actually convinced her, and she realized how much she needed something like that. So now if you follow up an hour later, now you've actually qualified that, which means that that individual is wanting to buy something of that vacuum cleaner, that model that you were talking to her about, but she also has the money to buy it in this example. Okay. Then half of the qualified leads are not ready to buy yet. So if this person is there and you've qualified them and they're ready to buy it, 50% of these individuals who come to you may not be ready to buy this. So don't be discouraged. That is what follow-up is about. That's what the next part is about. Okay, so if you keep these two statistics in mind, it's easy for you to not get discouraged so quickly. Now, sometimes it's not easy to follow up a lead in 1 hour. There are some automated way in which to do that. I usually tell my clients, if you follow up within a 24-hour period, that's also good. Depending on the situation, depending on the sense you get. So this is just a rough guesstimate. So don't use this as a thou shalt commandment. All right, but the important aspect of that is following up is very important, because then you engage them a lot more. Prospects, that's the second stage. This is when, they've come to your table. Now you're engaging them. This is the engage portion. Now here is where you've got an opportunity to have them sample your service. Now, some of the sampling could just be a good feel they get from the conversation with you. They may decide, you know what, I'm really connecting with this person and I want services from this person. That's also amazing. Like, that's a prospect. There's a free consultation. You may say, hey, you know what, I'll give you a free half-an-hour consultation. This is what I do for my clients. Once in a while, I'll open up the doors and say, I'll give you a free 1-hour consultation. We'll go through your marketing plan and we'll look for some low-hanging fruits, and we'll give you one thing that you'll apply right away and start getting more business. So though, if you say something like that, a free consultation, that works very well. A sample of services, if in the example of a trade booth, for example, if you have somebody, if you're a massage therapist, you say, hey, I've got a massage chair here, sit down for 15 minutes, I'll give you a free massage. How's that? And then they'll get an idea of what you are, what you do, and the energy that you exude. And that's another way. You can also give them a document that says, hey, here's a case study, a testimonial from my other clients, or you could have it displayed up there. That also goes a long way in convincing individuals that you have what it takes to serve their needs. A common one is newsletter subscription. You just drop your name in the barrel, and you get them a free e-newsletter, and they get information. And in that newsletter, there are strategies around making sure that you don't lose them after they sign up. They don't unsubscribe. So there's a whole strategy around how you can keep engaging them so that they are always connecting with you, and you have many touch points throughout the year. And if you're always on the forefront of their minds, and if you see an inbox coming in, they look forward to your email, that's a real engaged customer. So we'll talk about that and how to kind of leverage that. And of course, important to give educational content, relative or relevant, I should say, to your particular business and what they are coming to you for. So if you're selling vacuum cleaner, you want to immediately send them an email saying, here are the different things to look at when you make a purchasing decision on vacuum cleaner. And of course, the things that you offer and the services you offer would be right up at the top of all the things that are required for somebody to make a decision on that. So if you send them an educational content, they will see you as somebody who is a go-to person and trust you to buy it from you, rather than just walking into a department store and just taking one off the shelf. So this is very important. What sets you apart from your competitors? Now remember, in the leads section, the first phase, they're warm. They're looking at your booth, or they're coming to you. They've heard a bit about what you do. Maybe they overheard it. They're coming to you and saying, yeah, I think I need this, or I know somebody who needs this. Then the prospecting part, the second stage, which we're in now, the prospecting part is what sets you apart from everybody else that's competing with you. This is where, if you've convinced them that they need a massage, let's just say it's good for them, or chiropractic services, it's great for them. If you've convinced them that they need that, now their wheels are turning, and they're saying, I wonder who else is out there. So you want to make sure that you get your best foot forward. So this is the part where you say, this is what sets you apart from competitors. And one thing that we talked about in the leads is you follow up. When you follow up, you are actually going to have a higher rate of conversion with these individuals. And if you follow up within 1 hour, you get the 7 times more conversion. And if you follow up, a month later, you won't be that lucky. So this is what sets you apart from your competitors. Let's say you are somebody who was able to convince somebody to sign up with you. So the first thing you want to do is a welcome meeting. Now, if they signed up for a newsletter, that's also a subscriber. That's still a prospect, not really a new client yet. They haven't purchased anything from you. But there is, when they actually purchase something from you, so when you send them a new e-newsletter in this example, you may have a coupon in there, and the coupon in there may say, hey, buy this, and you get 50% off or something. It's your initial purchase. Then when they come to you, that's a welcome meeting. And you want to give them getting started material, something that you can actually hand them so they can remember you by when they go home. And then you actually deliver. This is your first deliverable. You have to wow them right here, and I'll tell you a little later on why that's important, to wow them right here, to shoot the lights out for them. This is very important. This is your chance to make a first impression. Remember, when they went through the funnel, they went through the prospecting part, you've convinced them that they need, for example, this vacuum cleaner or chiropractic service. But they are still trying to understand why they should come to you and not another chiropractor or another vacuum cleaner salesperson. So they're still kind of in that, hey, getting to know you. They get the first treatment. If you haven't wowed them, they will be looking at others, not because you've done the hard work of convincing them. Now they're just shopping around to see who's going to give them the best service, the best price, and all that other good stuff. But if you wow them, they're willing to pay you the extra dollars because they're comfortable with you. So this is your chance to make a first impression. Now, this is the most important aspect, is the next phase, is the ongoing jobs. What you want is you want repeat clients, or you want clients who will sing praises about you. This is where you have to make sure that you not only provide superior service during a treatment or when they first buy something from you, but you have to provide that after sales service as well. Make them feel amazing after the sale. Now, a lot of organizations or small businesses offer a money-back guarantee, 14-day or 30-day money-back guarantee. You have to make sure that they're extremely happy with you, and that's a guarantee period that you make sure that they don't return the product. In case of a service, you want them to come back for a second service. Okay, so this is where you anticipate their needs. You do a regular check-in. Hey, how are you? You just had this amazing massage. How are you feeling? Are you drinking lots of water? Are you eating well? And you're not trying to sell them anything. You're just telling them how much you care about them. You also receive market intelligence, because when you start asking them the questions, they're opening up to you. They're saying, well, this chiropractor opened up in my neighborhood, and the chiropractor has X, Y, and Z, has direct billing. Wow, that's very, very convenient. When are you going to have a direct billing? Now that's a question that's worth gold, because not only are they telling you they want to stay with you, but they're telling you something very important about your competitors and how you can match that and draw more clients. So this is, when you follow up, you're not making immediate money from the follow-up, but what you're doing is you're building that market intelligence that allows you to create more wealth for you. Now, here's the interesting part. These individuals who you have wowed, who you have provided superior service, can you imagine a conversation that this person has when they're going to wherever they go, to church, or whether they go to a restaurant, meet with their friends, and say, oh yeah, you know what, I was having this pain, and my chiropractor fixed it for me, and guess what, 2 days later she calls me, or he calls me, and asks me how I'm doing, and they didn't want to sell anything. Isn't that amazing? And then pretty soon you're going to get referrals coming in. And that it will get you more leads, because those referrals you have to go through the funnel. However, they are now considered warm leads. They're not cold. They know about you from somebody else. Somebody has paved the way for you. So it's very important you see the connection between the new clients, how to wow them, and get those referrals. Now let's take that one step further. You see, how do you know that you are succeeding in what you're doing? Because a lot of us spend a lot of money in email marketing tools, in paying somebody to help advertise this thing, or going to networking sessions, or setting up trade booths. I mean, that's a lot of money when you're doing that just to get leads. So how do you measure if this is working out for you? So let's go through an example on one of the ways in which you can see how well your strategy is working. The first thing is, let's say, for example, you at a trade booth, you have 50 people who drop their cards in your bin to say, hey, I want to sign up for a newsletter. So they said, fantastic, great. You've got 50 people interested in connecting with you. Now, 15 of them opened the newsletter. Now, you have to ask yourself, a lot of these email marketing programs, such as one I use is Constant Contact, but I've used Infusionsoft. MailChimp is also another one. And there's a host of them out there. They all tell you who opened and who didn't open. So a 30% open rate is actually very good. It's extremely good. The industry standard, depending on your industry, of course, and depending on the type of newsletter you're sending out. If you're sending out a thank you newsletter, there's a higher open rate. But generally, when you send out an email broadcast, you're looking at 15%, 20% at the most open rates, and that's industry standard. But let's say 15 contacts opened your newsletter up. Out of that, because in your newsletter, you were smart enough to put in a coupon that says you can come in for a 50% off treatment, or you can get this particular product for 25% off. Whatever that coupon is, 5 people clicked on that. So now you've got 10% of the people from the original sign up that actually what we call converted. That means they actually use the coupon to buy a product or service for you. Now these are your new clients. Okay. Out of that, somebody that you wowed brought you a new referral. So 2% of the people out of the 50 gave you a referral. Let's say you've done your business plan. You said, I need 10 new clients for my business this month. So now you can do the math around that. And it's not very hard math because you already know that you have a 10% conversion rate. And these are for new leads. You already know the people who come to your booth or who knock on your door or catch you on your website. You already know that 10% are going to convert. Okay? And 2% of the folks that are coming to your booth or website are going to be referred by those that you convert. So you already know that that's your track record. So doing the math, you have to actually target 80 new leads. If that is your statistic, if that is your conversion rate and your amount of referral rate, then you have to get 80 new leads. Out of that, 10% will be converted, your 8 new clients, and 2 will be referred from the clients. So that gives you the 10. So if you want to get 10 clients, you have to go and reach 80 people. That's a lot of hard work. That is a ton of hard work. But there are automation strategies that you can do that to get as many people into the funnel. And that is why when you're running a small business, you know how important it is to have the trade booths and all that, because that's the new clients coming in all the time. Let's talk about a bit of strategy that we can use. Now, in your first one, these are people who don't know you. So you have to work twice as hard to get there. Okay, so these are your referrals, your trade shows. So what you have to do is, if you do 80 leads that need to enter there, you achieve 8 new clients and 2 new referrals. Essentially, that's what you have to do. You have to target 80 business cards in your thing. You have to target 80 people. Out of the 80 people visiting your websites, you will get a conversion rate. So that's your search engine optimization. Now let's look at an example of how this can happen. Okay, here's an email I sent out to my followers. Now there are two hats I wear. One is alleviating stress and anxiety, and how to overcome fear. And I use science-based, evidence-based techniques called heart math. I don't know if people have heard about it, but I'm very much involved in that organization, and I coach people. So I created a YouTube video, a very short video on how to overcome fear. So I sent that email out. So that's the email that you see on your board that I sent out. Then what I did was I looked at the response. So you get this kind of a response. When I sent it out on October 15th, about 4 days later, I get this snapshot of what's going on. Now, any email marketing tool you have, if you have an email marketing tool, and I suggest you get one if you're a small business because it's extremely worth it, you will see that 81, in this case, 81 people out of the 261 people that I sent to, and you'll see the 261. If you see my cursor here to your right of your screen, I sent it to 261 people, and I only sent it to the people that would be targeted, who have indicated an interest in alleviating stress and anxiety. So I have a subset of my clientele that I send this out to, and I targeted that. 81 of them open. Now you see my open rate is 31%. You see the industry average is 18%. So I don't feel too bad about it. As a matter of fact, I looked at it yesterday in preparation for this webinar, and it's now over 100 opens and about 33% on the right-hand side, which is a click-through rate, and I'll talk about that in a second. So 81 people that opened my email out of 261, which makes it about a 31%. It's now 38 or 39, something like that. But you look at on the right, on the middle part where it says 24 clicks. That's the number of people that actually clicked on something that I had on my email. Now, this is very important. If you want to measure, this is your dashboard. If you want to measure how well your emails are performing, you don't want to put too many clicks on there. I mean, there are applications where you would, but in your first couple, you want to have maybe one, what we call call to action, which is where they want to click to do something. Now you see, I only had one focus on mine, but I also have my social media and my website on there. So some people may see this and say, well, who's this guy? In my case, who's this person? And they go to my website and see there, or they really enjoy the video and they'll say, I wonder if this person's got more stuff. And that's how you engage clients. So let's take a look at the next slide. So in this one, this is 81 people open, 24 people actually clicked through out of the 261 sent. And again, my click-through rate is higher than the industry average, telling me that I am sending relevant content to my my clients, okay, my customers, the people who have subscribed. When you see that, when you see relevant content going to them, you know they're engaged. So we look at the 81 opens. Now, where there's fuchsia here, I've blocked out the names, but you will actually see the names and email addresses of individuals and what time they open the email. So you can actually see 81 people open. Now, take a look at the left-hand side here a bit. You'll see the stats are also here. 24 people clicked. Thankfully, nobody reported this as spam, which tells me this is wonderful. My email, it says bounced, is 0. My email is very clean. I've cleaned it up, made sure there are no email addresses that are not active. And you'll see where it says 5 people unsubscribed. Now, people can take that as a bad news or good news, but the way I look at it is I only want to engage people who are in this list who are engaged, because the engaged people are more likely to buy from you, and people who have unsubscribed are really not interested in that. They found another solution for them. Or basically they may think there's somebody else out there who serves them better, in which case you do not want them on your list anyways, because you want a high converting, high engaging list. So these 5 people that unsubscribed, not bad, not bad. Sometimes they'll leave a comment around why they unsubscribed. In this case, they didn't. If they're really upset with you, they'll not only unsubscribe, but they'll also flag it as spam, and it'll show up right here as spam. So this one doesn't happen. Now, I have had, in the 2 or 3 years I've been doing this, I have had maybe 3 individuals on different occasions flag it as spam. And when I looked at my emails as spam, and when I looked at it, it was only because I hadn't connected with them for over 3 months. And so when they first connect with you and you don't follow up, or you don't send them engaging, nurturing emails, even if you're not selling any product for 3 months, maybe you're preparing something or you're putting together a marketing plan, and you're not going to touch base with your folks that you've collected on your hard work at the booth, and you don't have anything to follow up on, what happens is 3 months later, they forget about you. They forget who you are. They don't even remember your company name. So if you send them something on a bi-monthly basis, or even people send it on a weekly basis, when you do that, what happens is they remember who you are. And when you're ready to sell them something 3 months or 6 months down the road, they won't flag it as spam. They'll remember the conversation you had with them. So it's very important not to forget about the people and just keep nurturing them. And that's the power in your small business marketing. That's how you take them down that funnel, the 4-stage funnel. So I think we've basically given you overview of this. You can, for every email broadcast you send out, you'll have this statistic in whatever email marketing tool you have. Okay, so let's go back a bit. This is the click-through rate. So I can see who clicked or how many people, and if I click on the number there where it says unique clicks, I can tell who clicked. So I can retarget them. Like if somebody clicked, if you look at this, one person at the top clicked on my Facebook page because they want to know, hey, who am I? As a matter of fact, I think I got 1 like on my Facebook page because of this. Then there's the person who looked at my channel, my overall YouTube channel. So the specific YouTube video sits in a channel where there's other videos. So this person probably wanted to know, hey, what else does Shamir have in this that is related to this? And so that's what they probably did. And you see the bulk of the people, 92% of them, 22 of them actually went and clicked on the YouTube video that I had prepared to alleviate anxiety. Basically, it's reframing your thoughts. So you can see how much information you can get from a simple email that I sent out that I showed you earlier. and how you can do that. Now, if you don't have the dashboard, what happens is you have no idea how well you're doing in marketing. You have no idea where your customers are coming from. And when you have no idea, what you do is the traditional approach is you go out and you spread yourself thin in marketing in every which way you can without saying, you know what, Pinterest really works more for me than Facebook. And you know what, I've seen that. I mean, it's possible that Pinterest, if you market on Pinterest, it may give you more depending on who your demographics is. If your demographics is high income earning women, you want to go be on Pinterest. You don't want to be on LinkedIn. Well, you do, but you want to put most of your marketing efforts on Pinterest because that's where they live. And if you have graphics and all that stuff, perfect place for it to be. So those are the strategies you can actually go through and learn when you actually look at the dashboard and it gets the wheels going in your head saying, that's what I need to do more of. So I know that this is happy. This is something else I can do. These 22 people, I can click on them. I can put them in a different list. If I'm going to have a workshop that's around transforming your thoughts, what I would do is I would send an email out to these individuals, and I would actually target them and say, hey, I'm going to give you 20% off to come to this workshop. And they would be the only ones getting the 20%. And because I know they're highly motivated, I know they're going to buy, right? If the timing works out for them. So there's a lot of information that you can get if you have the right tools at your disposal and they're automated. Now let's look at how much it costs when it comes down to marketing at different stages. You can imagine this. This is intuitive. When you are dealing with trade shows, website search engine optimization, upkeeping your website, making sure you've got the right, you're ranked #1 on Google and all that other good stuff. That takes a lot of effort and time, and it costs relatively a lot more money than if you do it in a different part of the state. So once you get the leads, you have to follow up because that's money in your pocket. If you look at prospecting, it's less of an effort because you already have them. You're not out there doing search engine optimization. The clients have found you, and now they want to know how you can help them. And so that may cost a little bit more money because the conversion rate may not be high because there's a lot of people out there that are still deciding, but it's less of a cost to you than actually going out and setting up trade show booths. New clients, when they come in, it's a lower cost because what you're doing there is you're now trying to make sure that they're happy so that they can keep coming back, or they can buy another vacuum 3 years down the road, or buy a vacuum as a gift, or get gift certificates as a massage for their friends. So it's a little bit of an effort there in coupons and maybe follow up and administrative stuff, but nevertheless, it's less than actually getting new customers. And when we talk about ongoing jobs, that's the cheapest form of marketing because all you're getting is referrals and they're already paved. The path is already paved for you. So you see where you want to spend 80% of your time in the last two sections, in new clients and ongoing job, and less time with leads and prospects. If you do your new clients and ongoing jobs funnel strategy really well, you may not have to spend a lot more money on leads and prospects. And that's the key. You could reduce the number of trade show booths days you spend. So you can actually reduce your investment in that and just focus on your existing client base. Everyone has a list. Any small business that's been operating for at least a year has a list of people that when was the last time you connected with, and you want to go and start nurturing them. So here's a question. A lot of people ask this because a lot of people are on Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and it seems to be there's a lot of buzz out there on social media marketing. Now, what I do is I help my clients do a strategy on email and social media marketing. So in this email and social media marketing, there is a pecking order in which you want to do that. Of course, you want to leverage through all of them, but you can spread yourself thin very quickly. So the first question is email marketing even right for you? Do you need to do it? Well, let's look at some statistics. This is based on some Direct Marketing Association research. Look at the statistic. Email marketing actually still has the highest return for every dollar spent. A lot of people buy things online with email marketing, more than Facebook. So if you're going to spend $500 on a Facebook ad or $100 on a Facebook ad, you are better off before you do that. And if you don't have a proper email strategy or email marketing strategy, you're better off investing that in email first before you go into Facebook marketing. Okay? Just in general. Transactional emails have 8 times open rates. Transactional emails are, hey, thank you for receiving this service. I appreciate you coming in. Remember to drink your water in case of a chiropractor or massage therapist. And at the bottom would be, hey, refer your friends and get $20 off. So when you send an email, remember I said the industry standard, in my case anyways, was 19%. You can actually go to 80% open rates. I've had 100% open rates when I finished a workshop and sent them a follow-up email. I've had 100% open rate. When you actually send them something useful as a thank you, and here's something for you to continue on. So that's what a transactional email is. This is where it'll generate 6 times more revenue, because if there's 80% open to 100% open rate on a transactional email, then there'll be more people. Remember that formula that we use, 10% conversion rate? If that's your statistics, it's 10% of the number of people that have opened your email as well. As a matter of fact, you might get a higher rate. You get $44 for every dollar spent. So this is money on the table. If you are not sending thank you emails to your clients after they've purchased something from you or after they've done a touch with you, then you're leaving money on the table. Personalized email messages. Now, if you have a email marketing tool such as Constant Contact, MailChimp, Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft, of course, is much more than an email marketing tool. We won't go into that. But if you have a one where you can merge the contact name into and personalize it for each contact, email marketing tool will allow you to actually put in a placeholder where it'll go into your database and put in, Dear Janice, thank you for coming to the thing. The Dear Janice would be something that the database would fill in after the fact, where you put a placeholder, and there are some simple ways to do that, and it's very simple. So if you have a personalized email messages, imagine you getting an email saying, for in this case, Tasha, thank you for coming to visiting my booth. Hey, here is the 50% off coupon for you as a thank you for doing that. I hope to see you soon. Now, when you see your name on an email, you're more likely to open that and to actually engage that person. So you can see the click-through rates. It improves by 14%. And look at the conversion, a 10% more conversion rate. So instead of converting your 10% of your cold leads, you can now move it up to 11% because it's 10% of that. So you can actually inch your way up in terms of converting leads by doing some simple email marketing techniques. So you don't have to go and spend a lot of money out there. There are some simple techniques to do that. This is another statistics. I mean, if you send 2 emails a month, you get the highest open rates. That means you're not blasting them with too many things. Now, these are just general nature. Here are the latest blog I wrote, or here's an educational component. If it's an event-based, that's a different thing. But this is generally, hey, this is your bi-weekly or bi-monthly newsletter. Enjoy. And they're open because people just don't like spamming. But then if you send them any less than that, people forget who you are, and they may report you as a spam. And this is an interesting statistic, and I alluded to this earlier, is email marketing is more successful at converting leads than social media. This is, people have done a lot of studies on this, and there's a high conversion rate in email marketing. So if you look at the first point, the return on the investment is $44 for every dollar spent. And then you look at this saying, well, no wonder the returns are high on email marketing. So if you only have enough money to do email marketing or social media marketing where you spend dollars on both, then you want to start investing in email marketing. And then when you start converting people, start getting that cash flow coming in, then you can expand it. And a good email marketing tools will allow you to actually not only send an email out to your clients, but automatically post it on your social media sites. And they can also trickle that posting out over time as well. So they can post it immediately as soon as you send it out. You'll see people who are not subscribed to your newsletter will also see a feed on their Facebook post and say, hey, there's a new newsletter. Not only that, but you can actually set it in at least in Constant Contact. I don't know about the others, but you can actually set it to repeat that a week later in a time release, so that they'll get another kick at the cat. So You can do a lot with email marketing nowadays, and it's relatively cheap to get into it. So this is a checklist for you, your marketing analysis checklist. So first is, what is your plan for each of the 4 stages of your marketing funnel? Now, we talked about how you should focus on perhaps the 3rd and the 4th stages in keeping your existing database and your clients happy. You do that, you get more referrals, you spend less money overall. However, if you're just a business starting out, you don't have many people on your list, you really have to have a strategy for your lead generation in the first funnel. That's important. So depending on your business, where it is in the stage of its growth, and if you're introducing a new product that your people are not familiar with, you may have to do a little bit of that first stage planning. So you have to have a solid plan for each of the 4 stages of your marketing funnel that says, how am I going to wow them? How am I going to keep them? How am I going to convince them I'm the right person? How am I going to qualify them in the first phase? The second one is, you want to check if you are marketing to anybody in Canada. You could be a US company or a Chinese company or a Japanese, whatever. If you're marketing to somebody in Canada, you have to follow the Canadian anti-spam legislation. So you have to make sure that you comply. I also think it's important for businesses to streamline their email automation and social media strategy. You could spread yourself thin going to LinkedIn and Pinterest and Snapchat and Facebook and email marketing this and that and that. And you could also spread yourself thin on the different content you share. You may not have enough time to create 1 blog a day or 1 blog a week, but there's a strategy around how you can streamline all this. So first thing you have to do is spend your time where your greatest impact is for the type of products you sell and the type of clients you serve. Okay, so this is a streamlining is not to be underestimated. It's a very important approach. Then what you want to do is you want to do an action plan. When you do all these three things, you'll do an action plan on what are some of the quick wins to see results immediately. So, you may find that, hey, I'm not meeting my Canadian anti-spam legislation. What do I need to do to that? Here's a quick fix. Or for example, you know what? I'm not sending out transactional emails. I'm not sending those out. Hey, all I have to do now is anytime somebody comes in, they get a service from me, thank you, coupon, and or share with your friend, and that's all you do. That's a quick win. So put 1 or 2 quick wins and make yourself a promise that by next week you will have 1 or 2 quick wins already put in, so you can see the benefit of actually spending some time with me here 1 hour. And if you can get a true benefit out of that, it'll make me happy. And then send me an email and tell me, hey, I implemented this. This is how it worked, or it didn't work. Shamir, can you suggest something else? So I'll be happy to do that. In one example, in just a half an hour conversation, I saved somebody, I think it was like $100 a month. It's because I had a look. I looked under the hood in their email marketing tool that they used, and I found a way to reduce their costs without them without not anything else changing for them. It was just a simple call them up, ask them to do this, remove these email lists because you don't need that, and they saved $1,200 that year in that half an hour conversation. Another client of mine saved them something like $3,000 a year, and it was a simple 1 hour conversation on that. Anyways, lots of things there's a lot of money that small businesses put on the table because they don't think about certain things. This has been wonderful. Thank you for joining me for this webinar, and forward to continuing this dialogue. Take care.